Hey girl, welcome to my new series, Unbothered, Unfiltered, and Over It. I'm going to be real with you so you can be real with yourself. So, how many times have you guys been called or heard somebody say to you, "Oh, you're too bold, you're too opinionated, you're too loud, you're too sensitive, you're so quirky, you're this, you're that, you're too this, what, right? Fill in the blank, you're too, fill in the blank." And then somewhere along the way, we started thinking maybe, just maybe, we were too much, right? Because when you hear stuff over and over again, you may start to believe it. Yeah, we may have started believing that. Yeah, maybe I am too opinionated. Maybe I am too vibrant. Maybe I am too quirky. You're too much may mean you're too emotional. So that might mean you just may feel things that you express, your feelings openly. Okay, what's wrong with that? Or you're too opinionated. Okay, you just expressing your ideas and what you feel and what you think. What's wrong with that? Or you're too sensitive. Really? Too sensitive? Being sensitive is part of being a human. And if somebody tells you you're too sensitive, you need to tell them to go ask the Wiz for a new heart. But here's the truth. When somebody tells you that you're too much, that means you're making them uncomfortable. That's what that is. Your authenticity is making them uncomfortable. Your power is making them, reminding them that they haven't even claimed theirs. So all of this stuff is about them. It has nothing to do with you. So that's just a projection. So we're not falling into that trap. Or you have people who are fearful that you're not conforming to what they've expected of you or, what you should be. Really? Been there, done that. I've had somebody, who kind of gave me that vibe or, that kind of sentiment like I'm not doing what, they think I should be doing or I'm not, living up to their expectations or whatnot, right? I started to believe that and I started to, start to try to conform to what they thought of me. I'm shrinking myself, quieting my voice, not trying to be too much of, who Nina really is. And then as I got a little older and started to develop the confidence of who I am, what I think, what I feel, what God, being the person that God truly made me, I started pushing back and I started, confronting those, those expectations. So then next thing I hear is, oh, you must be going to therapy. You must really be working on yourself. Uh, hello? For sure, working on myself because then I started to gain more confidence in who I was and realizing that I can be who I want and not have to worry about what anybody else thinks because that's not my business. So eventually that person kind of fell off because I'm like, yeah, I'm too much for me. If I'm too much for you, that's too bad. So it really doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really have anything to do with us. It's more about how they're feeling about themselves. So when you're being your true self, your authentic self, and they have a problem with that, that just means that you're making them uncomfortable. That's not your problem. Their feelings are not your problem, not your responsibility, not your business. We are concerned about us and leaning into our authentic selves and leaning into who we are truly, into who God made us to be. So we're gonna, lean into who we are, be who we're gonna be, and we're not for to worry about what they think. Because, like I said, that's not your business. So not your business. So today, I want you to stop apologizing for your confidence. Stop apologizing for your vibrancy. Stop apologizing for your quirkiness or your nerdiness or your intelligence or whatever. Stop apologizing. They're not going to give you permission. It's not coming. So don't even wait for it. Stop waiting for it. They're not giving you permission to be yourself. We're not even waiting for that permission because we don't need it. Give yourself permission to be yourself. We're not even asking for forgiveness for who we are. You know, that whole ask for, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness. We're not even doing that. We are going to be who we are, and they're going to have to deal with it. So I'm going to give you an affirmation, and I want you to write it down somewhere, put it somewhere where you can see it every day, because we need to change our mindset, and affirmations or mantras are good ways to do that. It says, I was never too much. I was always enough for the right people. And so, what that affirmation means to me, because it may be something different to you, but to me, what it means is that when you are your authentic self, when you are your true self, when you lean into who you truly are, the right people will find you. They will. They'll gravitate towards your vibe, and they will be there. The people who don't, they're gonna fall off. You probably gonna hear from them again, or you probably won't hear from them as much. They'll make excuses, whatever. So we're not worried about them people. And so you'll find the people. They'll come, and I can tell you. I mean, I'm telling you this stuff because it's stuff that I know. When I started leaning into who Nina is, what Nina thinks, how Nina truly, how Nina truly is to her core, I started to attract those people who vibe with me. They didn't say, "Oh, Nina, you're too." They didn't say. I didn't hear none of that. And I have those friends who vibe with me, who understand my quirkiness, accept me, my quirkiness, my intelligence. They accept my boldness. They accept all the crazy stuff that I say, because I do say some crazy stuff sometimes. And I vibe with them, right? So it's a mutual relationship. It's a mutual vibe. Lean into who you are. The right people will come to you. They will. I can tell you that. Those people will find you. Let them fake people, drop off. You drop that fake persona of trying to please everybody, trying to make everybody comfortable. You're doing everything, for people that you don't really care for. And that includes family. And I'm being truthful, and I'm being real. Just be true to yourself. And like I said, I'm going to be real with you so you can be real with yourself. You will feel more at peace when you're yourself than trying to put on this facade, put on this mask, trying to pretend, because all that pretending is just too much energy. It's too much. Way too much energy. So we're not doing that. So when you lean into yourself, you lean into who you truly are, your authentic self, you're expressing your ideas because that's, they're yours, or you're feeling your feelings because they're yours. You'll start to feel that peace. It's a wonderful thing. I'm so glad I've discovered it for myself, because it is wonderful. You will be at peace. You won't have to expend all this energy. I'm just try it. I'm telling you, it's gonna be wonderful. So if today's message, in our little talk, if that, resonated with you, um, please share this with somebody that you think needs to hear this. Your sister, your mom, your auntie, your bestie, your coworker. Share this with them so that, they can start to lean into who they truly are, and start to realize that they're not too much. Those people are just not enough. And that they are enough for the right people. All right. So be bold, be unique, and be you. Talk to you later. Bye.